encore presentation, the French cooking powerhouse of Le Creuset that we know and love for their quality and for making our meals better, is here with a big deal. This is their signature cast iron braiser that comes with a glass lid. You are getting that easy look through and lighter weight glass lid, and then that signature cast iron, and yes, it does have that ombre effect that we know and love from Le Creuset. If you were to shop out at retail, you would be looking at $290 for this braiser. Today, your big deal price is $164.98, an easy payment of $33 to bring home a piece of cookware that people pass down from generation to generation. You could be making a family tradition right now by making a purchase. There's also reduced shipping and handling that takes this down, your shipping, to $6.97. Now, this price goes up at the end of the day tomorrow. So this is an encore of our big deal because it has been so popular, but we can only give you this price today and tomorrow. So now's the best time to put it in your cart and to check out, and you just let us know which color is your favorite. This is your cerise. We have Marseille for you, one of my favorites in that gorgeous blue. Sea salt. Now, exclusive to the Q, and the most limited is your mauve pink. Fewer than a dozen to go around, so please check out right now and lock in that big deal price. I don't think that's gonna last till tomorrow at that price. A dozen in mauve pink. In the center, here's your flame. That's what started it all, that wonderful bright orange color that we know and love from Le Creuset. And finally, here's your oyster. If you want to go with the gray tones, go with that oyster. Greg Shockley is joining us. He is a chef. He runs a catering business. He knows a thing or two about cooking. Greg, it's great to be here with you with this big deal.
Yeah, I'm so happy to be here. How are you today?
I'm doing great, and I'm really excited that we can still give this big deal price because it was supposed to go away, but now we've given a little encore presentation so we can still give our viewers today this amazing big deal price.
That's right. And you know what? We're celebrating our 100th year at Le Creuset, and we're so proud of that. Same foundry, same place. Nothing's really changed even for 100 years. That's the heritage. You know, that's why we can give a lifelong warranty on all of these products. Now, the cast iron is what it's all about. It's that heat retention and distribution that allows me to get this amazing caramelization and golden brown on my chuck roast for our pot roast. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to make this super easy, beautiful pot roast. Is going to be rich and flavorful. So all we did was we browned that off in our pan. One little hint, though, on all of our cast iron products, medium heat is plenty for you. Medium, it takes a little bit longer to heat up, but it stays hot for a really long time. That's where that heat distribution and retention comes in.
Got it.
So I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of red wine. And these are all one-pan dishes, so no having to wash 20 dishes in there. You know, it's super easy. This is just going to slow cook in your oven. Now, we call this a braiser because braising just means cooking in liquid. And all you're going to do, it doesn't mean you're going to submerge the whole thing in liquid. We're just going to add about maybe up all the way up halfway, maybe, just even a little shy of that. Then I'm going to add a little bit of herbs. So I've got my stock, I've got my wine in there. I'm going to put a little bit of garlic and a little more herbs. And all we're going to do, Rachel, is we're going to lid this guy up, and I'm going to move it over here, and then we've got a finished one. And then
great. I love that lid also, you can look right through and see what's cooking as it's cooking.
Yeah, I do love the cook and look lid, and that's it's really popular. And by the way, also, there's a little vent hole in here. So if you're cooking in your oven or on your stovetop, glass lids are lighter weight, so they have a tendency to want to kind of pop up. We've got a little vent hole in here, so it releases just enough of that steam so that the lid is going to stay nice and secure on top of your pot.
Great.
Now, take a look at the results right here. This has been in the oven for probably, I don't know, maybe 2.5 hours at 275 degrees. It just falls apart. We got nice, beautiful pieces, but notice how nice and pink it is inside. So it's not dry, even though it's been cooking for a pretty long time. It's nice and moist and just falls right off.
Oh,
well, normally
amazing.
I would do the bone, but it's not in this one. But
yes. So
and then
Greg,
the gravy.
Can I ask you, so I'm going to use this on my stove top, and then will I always, is the plan to always sort of transfer it to my oven, or could I use it just on the stove top? When am I going to most use this braiser?
Now, if you're going to do a slow cook or a roast, now this one, I've got pork chops right here. which I just wanted to get I browned them up and I added kind of liquid and some Granny Smith apples and the apple cider vinegar and stock. This one I pretty much just did on the stovetop, okay?
Okay.
You don't need to. The longer cooks, the ones where you're looking to really maybe shred the chuck roast like this,
Yep.
sorry, and then the like a pot roast or a chicken, anything you
I
want to be nice and
see.
tender and fall apart, you got it.
You would then move to the oven. Okay, but this is going to be
Yeah,
perfect to just get that sear on your protein. So you can, instead of using that frying pan, you use a braiser and you get that
yeah,
wonderful crust and that sear on the outside. It really helps. I
right.
want to go through the color choices again
Hmm.
for you, and they all have that gorgeous ombre effect, all with the glass lid. This is going to be your cerise. In the center is the Marseille and your sea salt. Mauve pink. Do we still have it? It's last call now. A handful remain. Please go ahead and check out of your cart immediately for mauve pink. We have flame for you. And finally, we do have the oyster. Greg, let's chat a little bit about
Great colors.
how these are made, because we
Sure.
really have that tradition of over 100 years that has been
Yep.
perfected.
In the same foundry, and there's lots of steps that are going into making this, but the melting of the cast iron right there, and again, these are all handmade as well. 16 sets of craftsmen touch each pot before it gets boxed up. So that's the care they take. You can see it came out of the molds, they're polishing it up, and here we're going to start seeing the first base coats of our paint, then or the enamel, and then you're going to get multiple coats of your color. And that's how you get that ombre effect like you were talking about. And then as you have the pot longer and longer and use it more and more, the ombre effect is going to get a little more pronounced and distinguished. So and it's really great. And there it is boxed up. But again, made in the same foundry for 100 years. A lot of places, most places can't say something like that or been around for 100 years. Now, here's to your point. Do you have to use this in the oven all the time? Take a look at this. I've got beautiful salmon fillets that all I did was add a little bit of liquid to. I did this all on the stovetop.
Oh,
Put everything
wow.
in my pot, put a little bit of white wine and some water in there. And I've got some lemons, some oranges at the base. So all
Oh,
aromatics, all
wow.
flavor. And then what you get is beautiful, delicate, poached, flaky salmon. I mean,
Wow.
it turns out perfect every time. This only took about 8 minutes. I even got my vegetable in here and I did my rice separate. You could technically add your rice in first and then make all of this. And then
That's amazing.
if you want to bake in here,
Yeah.
absolutely wonderful. Here's my frittata. The inside of this has the sand enamel, which has an easy release. And take a look at this. This is eggs and cheese and vegetables and everything, but eggs and cheese, definitely really, really sticky. Not in this case. This comes right out of the pan.
And you're seeing that mauve pink, which is exclusive to us here at
Yeah, I love that, don't
QVC.
you?
It's
Great. My
so
wife is all over it.
beautiful. I know, it's such a gorgeous color. So this really goes so far beyond a braiser. We had to call it a braiser. We have to call it something.
Right.
But it sautés, it shallow fries, it steams. You can make that beautiful salmon that Greg was just showing us,
Yep.
all for those really tender, flavorful meals. This tradition of Le Creuset, there's a reason people come back again and again,
Yeah.
because they know it's going to make our cooking better, Greg.
It really is. And this truly is an everyday pan. I mean, this is my wife and I are, our kids are out of the house and everything, so it's just my wife and I. So as far as the 2 and 2/4 quart pan, this is perfect for us. We can cook our salmon in here, and there's plenty of food and plenty of room for this. But one of my favorite things to do is either cook burgers or steaks on cast iron. Medium heat, you put your steaks in there and you get a nice crust on both sides, and nothing like it at all. You
Oh, I
can't do that.
love
You
that
can't mimic it
idea.
at all. It's got to be done on a cast iron.
Okay, I want to remind everyone to please check out of your cart, because it's not going to be saved, right? Once these are gone, they are gone. Someone can snatch it from your cart in your
That's right.
favorite color. And remember, this big deal price does not stay around. It's going away tomorrow. If you went out at retail and you bought this signature cast iron braiser with this glass lid, that cook and look lid that helps to circulate the steam in the air and get a perfect cook, you'd be looking at $290. So today you're more than $120 savings to bring this home. $164.98 or $33 on an easy payment for something that you are going to have for a lifetime and for your children's lifetime. This is the cerise option. Here's the Marseille. Check out of your cart. This is your sea salt. Mauve pink. We are last call, so please check out. We've got a handful remaining. Here's your flame. And finally, here is your oyster. So Greg, do you have any really kind of fun, unexpected food ideas for us for these?
Well, I love doing, we love cooking like fajitas and doing something like that. So
Oh,
this is actually,
yes.
it's almost looks, and also to me, this looks like a paella pan. So if you love making paella simply is you're going to put your rice down first, then you get that started with some stock and get that starting to cook, and then you gradually start adding more stock and you start adding seafood, chicken, sausage, anything that you want. And as the rice cooks, it absorbs all that amazing flavor, and then you bring it right to the table. Now, also notice when I just held these up, we've got two nice helper handles right here, so
Yes.
it's really easy to maneuver both on the stovetop and in the oven, so no worries there. And it is smaller, so if you've ever got one of our Dutch ovens and you find them a little too heavy for you or bulky to work with,
Right.
this is just absolutely great because you can just see how easy I am. I'm lifting that up, and it's great to have.
Yeah.
But the lid, remember, you always have that lid. It's certainly optional for you, but keeping things hot. If you want to bring this right to the table with the lid, cast iron keeps
Yes.
things super hot, super cold if you want them to. So when you bring it to the table right out of the oven, it'll retain that heat. So when you're serving your dinner, it'll continue to be hot if you're getting your seconds or thirds or whatever you like.
Oh, that's amazing. And it looks beautiful enough to bring it to
really
the
does,
table
and
with
that's always the
pride.
That's everyone where it's kitchen jewelry we talk about a lot of times. When somebody gets their first piece of Le Creuset, no doubt is going to be on their stovetop until they get their next one, and maybe they'll replace it. But until then, they're going to show that off to anybody that walks through the door into their kitchen.
Yeah, you're going to leave it out. It's so beautiful. Okay, just make your color choice and please check out of your cart. Here's your cerise, your Marseille. This is your sea salt, your mauve pink, exclusive to QVC, flame, and finally the oyster. It's K99499449. Thank you so much, Greg. Great to see you.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Always,
day.
anytime.